All right, let's get into the Friday night breakdown about the Blacksburg and Giles game, which did not go as we thought it was going to go. Let's just get to the bad. We did not block well on offense. We turned the ball over, fumbling our running backs. We threw interceptions. I think we had 3 turnovers, and Blacksburg scored, I believe, 3 touchdowns off that. And same breath, they had 3 turnovers, and I don't think we got anything off that. We didn't get. I'm not sure we got first down until the second quarter. It was several series in the game, but I think it was in the second quarter we got our first down. The blocking overall was not great. Like I said, if people seen their line, you realize they did have a big line, but we've got to be able to overcome that because we're going to face big lines. If we make the playoffs, we're going to face somewhere along that line and some more big lines. We have got to do better on pass blocking. You all done fairly well the first 2 scrimmages. Again, though, Blacksburg had a better defensive line and bigger. And y'all got bull rushed some, but we've got to do a better job pass blocking. We would go back to pass, and we'd have defensive linemen right in our face. We couldn't even set up. And in that same breath, when we're dropping back to pass, if you're getting rushed and you're hurrying, don't throw it in double and triple coverage. Tuck it down and run, throw it out of bounds. Something like that. Don't throw it up where it can be picked off. I know when the game's going on, you got people coming in your face, you're trying to make a play. You don't always think about that. But that's just something to work on. It happens. You just need to try to work on it. Our line, and what bothered me the most about what I've seen on numerous occasions, after the ball was snapped, we would have guys going out and chesting up on blocks, not putting a shoulder into it, not really getting a hat on a hat, and we just chest up. I've seen our guys get knocked back when we did that. I've seen guys getting hit and throwing their hands up like, what'd you do that for? Don't do that to them. Just come back next play and smack them in the mouth. But our blocking, I know, is a lot better than what we did tonight. I know it's a lot better. I don't know if we come in a little overconfident from what, you may have heard over the past 2 weeks because we played so good. And I still think you all are good. But the little things makes the big things go. So the pass blocking and the pre-snap penalties, the false starts, and all this stuff, and even on defense, line up off sides. There's no excuse for that for the lineman. I mean, you're looking at the ball. There's no excuse to line up off sides. There's no excuse for you to jump off sides if you're watching the ball. There's no excuse. As Rags will say, there is literally no excuse for that. You are watching the ball. The ball's in front of you. You should not move till the ball moves. Now, I realize, you're trying to make a play. You're trying to get back in the game. But the ball is right in front of you. The backs have got to hold on to the ball better. There are big things there, but there's little things too. I understand when you're down, you're trying to make a play, like I said, and you're trying to rush it, and you may take your eye off the ball. And fumbles, things like that, they're going to happen. But it was the overall picture tonight, I think. It seems like we lost some concentration. Maybe we got a little shock where they jumped on us so quick. Because like I said, I know you always want to go undefeated. So there's that shock, and then you start thinking and worrying. And it's just this just happens. But that was my biggest things. I noticed was the pre-snap penalties, the turnovers, of course, and the blocking. I said the pass blocking, the run blocking. I remember seeing a picture that came out around in August sometime. All having your pictures done, and had one picture of you all running out with a flag, and it said something about pancake. It was I can't remember what it said. It's not about pancakes, And people don't know, when a lineman knocks a defender on his rear end or whatever, that's a pancake. And if you all want to call yourself the pancake bunch or whatever it was, to me that's fine, whatever. But if you go do that, you're going to live up to that. And that's every snap, every play, getting on somebody and knocking the crap out of them, and not just going out there and sticking your chest up and chesting up with them. You're going to get yourself hurt for one. You'll get knocked back on one of your lineman's buddy's legs, and who knows what could happen, and you're just not going to get a block. So just cause a play's going the other way don't mean you let off your block. What if that guy cuts back? As I'm sure you've been told, block, block, block until the whistle. And if the ref will throw the flag, you got to let the coaches deal with that. That's their job. Don't go out there and get a stupid penalty arguing with the ref, because 9 out of 10 times it's not going to get anywhere. But on offense, that's what I noticed the most. I really think the blocking was not crisp at all. The pass blocking was not very good. Pre-snap penalties. Like I said, we seemed a little timid at times. Then we would get some good runs. So maybe focus got lost, especially when we got down by 2 scores. I don't know. But I know you are better than that. I know the backs are better than that. But it's definitely something that needs to be worked on. As I'm sure the coaches are going to tell you all on Monday when you view film. Defense, again, line up off sides and jumping off sides. I mean, the ball is in front of you. As Ragsdale would say, to clean it up a little bit, how the F are you jumping off sides from the ball? If you're watching the ball, it's impossible. The ball is right in front of your face. I know you're trying to make a play, you're trying to get back in the game, but again, the ball is right in front of your face. There's no excuse for it. None. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, that'll never happen. Penalties do happen. Everybody knows that. But this was several times somebody jump off sides. It was, like I said, lined up off sides. I mean, there's really no excuse for lining up off sides. If you look down the line, you see that ball, and you're over the ball, then you go back. But there was a lot of that. I think their offensive line did take a toll on our defense, our defensive line. I mean, they hit us, they would lean on us, and it just wore us down. When you have to play both sides of the ball, that's rough, especially against a bigger lineman like that, and they can alternate. So that's tough. That is tough. But so you may face big offensive linemen again. So you've got to find a way to dig down, and the linemen at least hold their linemen up, so the linebackers and the safeties and so forth can get to it. But there was just like I said, little things, done wrong can create big things wrong. Our secondaries, we need to learn when the ball is in the air to turn around, and we can pick things off. But you all communicating with each other will be huge. If your DB is covering somebody, and the guy's kind of behind him, he's racing to catch up, he's right there. Yell at him, turn around, ball in the air or something, so he knows. Y'all need to come up with something to turn around. And maybe you already have that. I don't know, but that needs to be done to help these guys out. Our kicking game, it needs to get better. I don't really know what to do about that. I'm going to just keep practicing. I think it'll come around, but that needs to definitely get better. We did have a really good play on a punt where I think number 4 stripped the ball, Myers. I think he stripped the ball. It was a great play. And Giles did get kind of screwed on one play when we had scored and made it 30-8. Blacksburg was driving. We needed to stop, and we got to stop. I mean, we literally stripped the ball out of the running back's hands, and how the ref did not see it, I don't know, but he called the guy down. And we had momentum that would give us the ball back. Then if we could have scored, who knows? But that hurt us, and I think that kind of broke our spirits right there late in the game. But like I said, overall, it was not a great performance. I can't sit here and say it was. I can't sit here off the top of my head and say, well, this person done really good and so forth, because this was a team. I don't want to call it a collapse, but that's the only word I can think of right now. We seemed like we got overwhelmed a bit, and their size could have something to do with it. And like I said, that was a much better Blacksburg team than what they've had in several years. So, it happens. It just happens. Everybody wants to go undefeated, and sometimes you can't. But that don't mean you still can't go win a championship. You still can't go to the playoffs. But you all go ahead to dig down and correct mistakes. Now, one thing I did want to say is I don't want to keep these videos too long if I can help it. We come out the second half after we stopped Blacksburg. I know we alternated some running backs and things. Our line blocked really good on that series. That's what I'm saying. You guys, just looking at that series there, should have some confidence because you can block good and you can play good. But we were making holes. We were playing what seemed like a little bit pissed off, because I fear you got butt tuned at halftime. But you played a little pissed off, and the running backs, no matter who was in there. I mean, I know they were switching out, so I don't know really who all was in there. But whoever it was, all of you were running hard on that drive when you went down and scored. Every one of you. And like I said, the blocks were there. So that also shows, what happened the rest of the game. Like I said, what is the same people. I think the biggest difference was you come out pissed off and you were more focused because you were pissed off because you all got embarrassed in the first half. You wanted to prove something. And which goes to show, like I said, you all come out and play pissed off from the beginning. I think you're a much better team. Now, I'll say it last year and I'll say it again. You can be friends before the game starts, once the game's over. But during the game, it is a war. And you have to go after it, and you have, they knock the crap out of you, you knock the crap out of them. And you make their home field your house. Then when you're home, you protect your house. It's a tough loss. Everybody wants to go undefeated. There was several cheap shots by Blacksburg that didn't get called. How, I do not know. They were obviously late hits after the play was over. I know the coaches were kind of yelling at the refs, which they definitely should because it was awful. I don't know why they didn't call it. I know number 8, late in the game, was getting up and I wouldn't say punch, pushed the guy's head down. And it was right in front of the ref, so he's seen it. Now, should you have done that? No, you shouldn't. But in the same breath, I like the fire you had. Now, I don't know if you was one of the people that got cheap shotted or you was taking it for your teammates. Me personally, I like that. You was, frustration happens, but you were taking up for your brothers in arms. If people do something like that, you definitely need to do it where you don't get caught. But I think all of you should have that fire. Now, I'm not saying go out here and cheap shot somebody and do things or go get penalties. I know it's an emotional game, as all of us who's played it realize. But I like the fire that you wouldn't go take it anymore. And that's the fire you all need from the kickoff to the end of the game. Win or lose. Let people know, hey, we just played Giles. We might have won, but we feel like we've got the living crap beat out of us. So, again, play pissed off. At first drive, the second half, you seem like you played pissed off. The little bit of attitude number 8 had with that penalty, y'all need that. Y'all need that fire that you're not going to push us around type thing. So I think if you all can combine that, listen to your coaches, continue to push. It's a tough loss, but like I said, it may pay great dividends as the season goes on, knowing what you got to do against bigger linemen, some maybe quicker people. There's some awful bad angles tonight too. I did notice on defense when you took wider angles and they take inside angles and the guy was bouncing outside. So there's some little things there that can be corrected. Beat yourself up. Some people just will do it anyway. Beat yourself up tonight, tomorrow, but by Monday, get back into it. It's over, and fight for the next one. There's a lot of football left, a lot of season left. And it did remind me, just because you get down early in a game, don't quit. There's a lot of football left in the game. Y'all got down 2 scores, and I think you all were very dejected. That can be, understandable, but you can't quit. A turnover here, turnover there, it's a whole different ball game. If you all would have played the whole ball game like you played that first drive, a second and a half, I don't know if you all would have won. I'm not going to lie to you, but it'd been a whole lot different ball game. I truly believe that. Some people would say they didn't like the 3 passes in a row. I'm sure LB said it. I personally liked it. I mean, you've got to keep teams off balance. You've got to keep them, thinking, okay, Giles can pass at any time. So any of y'all who may not like that, you need to get used to stuff like this, because I think this is how we're going to play, and it don't personally bother me. You got to keep teams off balance. I like the occasional blitzing here and there because it still keeps their offense off balance. You got to keep these teams off balance. I still think we may have it. I said last year, I said it again. I think we need to put in different type screenplays, especially the way people play us in a box. But I got to throw my 2 cents in on some plays anyway. But that's just kind of all tonight. I'm not going to go on anymore. But guys, it's tough to maybe hear criticism. It's tough when you get down like that. But just remember, take it as a learning experience. Come back to fight. And keep fighting. It's a long season. Very long. Hopefully you all will go 9-1. If you lose another game or 2 games, the season's not over. Fight until the season is over. And hopefully it'll be a big playoff run. Y'all got a lot of room for improvement, but you all have the guys on this team to, I feel, still make a big run, especially once we get in district play and you all can grow and come together even more. Just don't quit fighting. Keep each other up. Even all the noise is going on. You all are the band of brothers. You all are family. That's how it's got to be. And treat it that way. Don't let people push you around. No, like I said, don't go over here and do stupid penalties. But don't let them push you around either. Stand up for each other. If they're mouthing off, if you mouth off, we're going to get a penalty. But hey, stand up for each other. I don't know. I guess kind of still shell shocked at how we played tonight. But I'm winning it right here. I just want the guys to know, don't give up. I know the coaches will, keep pushing you all and get it corrected. We got a tough game next week. Like I said, come out and fight, but you got to come out and fight from the opening kickoff, and the whole game. There's little mistakes that led to big mistakes. The little mistakes led to scores, is what I'm saying. And you correct them, and shore some things up. Things good can happen. So don't give up. Keep fighting. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. And again, for the 100th time, play pissed off from kickoff to the end of the whistle. And back each other up. But do it smartly. Anyway, oh, and another thing. I thought it was a great crowd tonight. You guys keep coming out for these kids. This is still a very special ball team. I think they still do very special things. And they're still learning. it's a new coaching staff, and everybody still, I think, is coming together, and they will. So great turnout by the fans tonight. Keep coming, keep supporting these kids. And anyway, see y'all next week on Friday Night Breakdown.